This may be a late reaction, but let me explain to you guys why I think it'll be different. The reveal of the trailer of the movie came out about an entire half of a month ago. I purposely have been trying to avoid looking at posts that like talk about anything relating to the Mario movie. I did get spoiled a few things like the designs of some characters, even like the voice of Toad a little bit, but I try to memory dump it just so I can like go in as blind as possible. But I didn't want to like add into like any hate or love for it that is there at the moment. I want my reaction to be like basically either love or hate for it, but later on, so that way you guys can tell this isn't just me copying someone, this is me looking at this and being like, oh, this is actually pretty good, or this sucks, you know, like we're about to find out. I'm gonna be reacting to the Mario movie, but the direct, not just the trailer. There might be more to dissect here. Without further ado, let's get started.
Hello everyone, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto.
I usually don't watch directs and I usually don't react to anything, including directs. So I always forget how they just dub over the voice and how it sounds, well, just weird.
It's been nearly 40 years since the original Mario Brothers game was released.
Less than 40 over 35.
Today, lots of people around the world are playing Mario games.
Yep.
Thank you all.
Last time I played a Mario game was Mario Kart on my Switch.
Finally,
like last week or something.
We've been working on this movie together with Chris Meledandri from Illumination for a long time.
So before we go any further, I had some concerns when I heard about Illumination, but then I was put a little bit at ease knowing that this is Nintendo, and when I heard rumors that Nintendo is like kind of like they're looking down on everything they're doing, being like, yo, you better get this right. I actually don't know if that's true or not. I was worried when I heard Illumination because the only movies off the top of my head that I actually liked from Illumination was Despicable Me 1, some of 2. There were some parts I didn't like about 2 and some things I did. But then every movie after that was kind of like, I don't care. Like they're kind of feeding into the idea of like, people keep posting us on Facebook with a minion. How about we make Sing look like the prime target for that? This photo of Sing was like immediately, it looked ugly and I was like, no. And I also don't like musicals anyway, so you guys can like those movies, but personally I kind of like am a bit of a critic towards Illumination as a whole. So I was worried because I personally don't like what they've been doing after Despicable Me 2.
Chris-san.
Thank you, Miyamoto-san.
Sorry, I don't know why the way his voice was kind of funny. I don't know why, like, thank you, Miyamoto. I mean, it'd probably be funny watching myself do that, but
directors Michael Jelinek, Aaron Horvath, and the entire Illumination crew of artists.
All right, I'm not a film buff when it comes to like, oh, this guy directed this, therefore it's gonna be good, or this guy directed this, it's gonna be bad. All right, so got some bad news. I decided to research who Michael Jelinek and Aaron Horvath are, and both of these guys have a couple things in common. They both played essential roles in Teen Titans Go to the movies and Teen Titans Go as a show in some of the episodes. I personally don't like Teen Titans Go. To be more specific on Michael Jelinek, you can see right here, he did Thundercats Roar. You might think, oh, cool, Thundercats. It's this one. And then you see, oh, Elf, like the one with Will Ferrell. More like the stop motion thing that like I've never heard of. There is one saving grace though. Apparently, he also did Thundercats, but like the good one from the early 2010s. He did Batman Brave and the Bold, and I've heard mixed things, like good and bad things, and I personally never watched it. I'm personally not that into superheroes. Now on to Aaron, Mr. Aaron Horvath. He did Unikitty. If you don't know what that is, it's this character from the Lego movie. They made an animated series, which I completely forgot they did that. The one thing that I guess is kind of cool is Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, but like, to be honest, I don't think this guy was the executive producer for this because of the fact that, oh bro, I love the original Teen Titans. It might just be because the fans keep asking for the normal ones, so let's just put them both in a thing. Yeah, that'll make some money, so producer. He also made Mad. The main issue with it though, from what I remember, was I was in my preteens when this came out. Like I was like between the ages of 10 to 12. When this show came out, some of the episodes were hilarious. Some of them were boring. It was all hit or miss. It was either, oh yeah, we got some funny nostalgia for you kids that's also funny and adults find it funny too. Or it's celebrity humor, just dropping names here and there, bringing up topics that kids probably shouldn't be knowing at that age. So now now I'm even more worried. I mean, Nintendo might have been going back and forth with them. The most optimistic I can say is that Nintendo was probably like, nope, garbage, write it again, garbage, do another shot, garbage, write a different line. Let's hope that they do that, because like, I mean, they're ruthless when it comes to like emulation and fan games. Let's hope they're ruthless when it comes to direction of a movie. I don't want to sound rude, but his eyes look crooked to me. It kind of looks like that.
We're knee deep into lighting and compositing.
All right, so that's kind of good. Well, it can be good or bad. Basically, what they're saying is like, yeah, okay, the animation's pretty much done. We're just trying to make the light look good. And then compositing just basically means we're just putting like, I don't want to say filters because that oversimplifies it, but it's like, they're like editing the footage that's already rendering in slight bits to give it some final touch-ups, basically.
Composer Brian Tyler heads to the scoring stage.
I like music a lot. Like, I love it. I upload music on my channel. That's not why I said that. The reason why I said that is because I care so much about music and stuff that I'm actually going to look up who Brian Tyler is. Iron Man 3. I never watched that Iron Man 3. Not that into Marvel. Avengers Age of Ultron. Okay, I've only seen clips of that. Honestly, I can respect that. Okay, he's done Formula 1. Oh, he's composed music for the movie Cats. Yeah, that one, but not credited. Now, this might be me reaching, but he probably didn't like the production. He was just like, well, you guys are paying me to do this, so I'm just, I'll do this. Just don't put me in the credits. I don't know what his stuff sounds like, so I'm a little worried that it's gonna sound generic. So he's done The Secret Life of Pets, Despicable Me 3, and a couple other Illumination stuff. In a business perspective, Illumination's probably like, all right, this guy right here, you've done work with us in the past. You've been turning in everything at a good enough level. We'll have you do the Mario movie. Either that's going to be a good honor and he's going to do his best, or they're going to be like, well, I mean, you got the job done, so let's just get this done. We're already getting paid. I'm a little worried.
Brian Tyler heads to the scoring stage in just 11 days. He's been working
11
hand in hand
days.
with Koji Kondo to integrate classic themes from the game.
Okay, that's actually a little bit relieving. He's been working with Koji Kondo, so that's good. I know that guy. I know him personally. When you're gonna give me my $50? That was a joke, by the way. I don't know anybody. I don't even know who this guy is. If you ask me who this guy was, like what his profession was, I would think he's like a head chef of a famous pizza place at most. Okay.
And it is thrilling to finally be here to show the very first look at footage with Mario fans at Nintendo Direct and at New York Comic Con.
He's talking to me.
Man, I spent hours of my life stomping.
So I already know about this guy, you know, and I've heard things about his voice in the movie, but I've tried to ignore it. I'm going to give you my honest opinion when that comes up.
Koopas.
Also, he's probably on Zoom right now, and that's how they got that footage. With the post-processing blur. You can tell at the edges. All right, there's Jack Black.
Thank you, Chris, but I can't let you have all the fun.
So I'm gonna be honest, when I heard about Jack Black, so okay, Chris Pratt, I was like, I'm worried. Immediately I got worried because I'm like, he doesn't sound anything like Mario from his normal voice, but you know, he could be good at imitation, or maybe he'll put a good spin to it. I don't really know how exactly he sounds. With Jack Black, I was a little bit less worried, but still worried because I'm like, hey, Jack Black, I mean, he might make Bowser like a lovable but still despicable enemy. Kind of like Gru in the beginning of Despicable Me 1. So I was like, okay, I'm down for that. The tone of Jack Black's voice, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually tries to go for an imitation of Bowser, but actually ends up sounding good. Like a good middle road between actual Bowser's voice in games and then him, like somewhere in the middle, like a good sweet spot. So I wasn't as worried, but then they could have also just hired him to be the voice just because he's a name. He's a talented guy, but did they hire him because he's talented or because he's famous? Or both? We'll see how it comes out in the trailer.
As well as the entire Nintendo and Illumination team on this cinematic experience. One that will make
this guy's like good at like hyping things up, I'll admit.
Thank you all for waiting. Let's press the start button.
All right, I'm switching the video to the actual official trailer released by Illumination themselves because it'll be like slightly higher video quality because we're watching a VOD of a live stream versus an actual video like an MP4 being uploaded. So far, I'm going to be pausing the video a lot, like the actual trailer as well, because I want to actually analyze things. And so far, I want to say, so far, I actually like the effects kind of put in. I don't know if that's actually happening within the actual render, or if this was like, you know, the post-processing, like the compositing and such. But so far, it actually looks like they're trying. But it is just the first 10 seconds. Yes, that looks nice. It's hard to tell if this is actually Illumination being very cost effective and efficient and just making a good enough image, and it's just tricking my mind into thinking it's really good, or if this is actually them going balls to the wall, trying their best to make this look as best as possible. Because right now I'm really impressed with how it looks, but how does it work in terms of storytelling? Because when it comes to movies, storytelling is important. I like that. All right, that's actually not a bad voice. It actually kind of fits him. It fits Kamek. But yeah, I love how they have the Koopa Troopas. Yeah, I'm seeing the proportions of some of their heads. It looks like they're all supposed to look unique, which I actually like that little touch. I don't mind them doing that creative liberty.
The king of the Koopas!
All right, that's him himself. How does he sound? All right, I can give him.
Open the gates!
That doesn't really sound too much like Jack Black. Like, I can hear him, but I can also hear. This might sound like an insult, but bear with me because it's not going to be an insult. He also kind of sounds like a generic villain, but if you think about it, when it comes to video games, if you ask your grandma, your mom, or someone that like knows a video game sort of like, but they don't really know what's going on in the scene, you ask them what's probably the most famous video game villain, and they'll probably be like, oh, that the bad guy from Mario, you know, the turtle guy, you know? I can forgive that he sounds somewhat generic, but also he does have like a voice, which is exactly what I was hoping for. This is not only good enough, but it exceeds my expectations so far. I can vibe with this. I like the aesthetic so far. Oh, that's okay. All right, I've seen. Sorry, the guy on the left. This guy here. This is a great frame to pause it on. I actually like how it looks because one thing that I can highly appreciate about good films is if you can pause on a frame, like if it's directed and done well, if you can pause on any frame and more or less it kind of looks like it's like well composited, like a painting or a photograph, like this, like here, important guy in the middle and the army. Like it looks pretty epic, even though these are just, you know, the penguins. The ones that go, and then the sound of them walking in Super Mario 64 is just a car alarm. But yeah, I've seen screenshots of these guys and I was like, I'm going to try not to pay too much attention. You know, these guys could be supporting characters. They might not be that important. They might actually be important. We don't know. I don't want to know because I want to know here, not back when people were like accidentally spoiling to me what happened in the trailer. But yeah, I like it so far. Yeah, that fits their nature. All right, they got one casualty. They're the ones winning so far. But yeah, I like this. They have like a good mix of humor. It actually looks like you're trying to tell a story, but it is a trailer, so the movie might suck. Okay, this is an interesting choice. So in the Mario games, you know, he kind of shoots fireballs. This is basically just atomic breath from Godzilla. I don't mind this decision that they're making him do this. I'm only worried about they'll make the bad guy be really, really cool and powerful, but then the good guy's there and then, oh, he's really lucky. If there's like going to be any battle/fight scenes between Mario and Bowser, if he does this flame breath thing, go ahead, but they can't just be doing like, oh, you know, Mario is just, oh, he got hit by the fire and he's somehow alive just because he's the good guy. No, there's gotta be an actual struggle because it looks like, theoretically, if Mario was not prepared, Mario is gonna die. They gotta make it look like Mario's trying to win, you know?
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
They got the superstar. Okay, so that's Mario himself. Everybody uses this screenshot. So some people like this design. Me, I can live with it. I don't love it. I personally do find it weird that he doesn't look as much as his normal Mario self as I would expect. But it kind of makes sense with the background and everything because they went for like a very realistic looking thing. They didn't have to. They could have gone like the Wreck-It Ralph route where everything was more stylized. But like he looks just enough like Mario that I can forgive this. And you never know. They might tweak him a little bit. From the backside especially, like it's Mario, you know, you just look at him and he's Mario. They did remove his fat butt, but you know, it's fine. You know, the audience would probably get too distracted if they were to see the butt all the time, you know? I know I would. This is a film adaptation of a video game, so not everything in the movie has to look like the video games. As long as everything looks like it has a purpose, whether it's to set the scene, whether it's to be an actual physical obstacle, I'm okay with this. The floating islands look very reminiscent of like Cascade Kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey, so that's kind of cool. But then right here, all right, those birds look very similar to the ones that you see in Mario Odyssey. Like in every kingdom, there's a different appearance of the birds. Those fish, those are not just any fish. Those are Cheeps. It looks like they're trying to portray the Mushroom Kingdom, so they better make it feel like the Mushroom Kingdom. Might as well put in all the characters / enemies / living things that you would expect from the Mushroom Kingdom.
What is this place?
It's so far what I heard from the voice, yeah, that like definitely sounds enough like Toad that I'm like, yeah, that's Toad. But it sounds enough like its own person that I'm like, yeah, this is perfectly fine. But so far I'm just hearing Chris Pratt for Mario's voice. I think it would have been better if he sounded like a little bit goofier, but it also depends on the tone that the entire film is going for. And I mean, the music going on in the film trailer kind of gives me vibes of, hey, this is supposed to be a little bit more serious, like a more grand, epic story that happens to just be derived from the goofy world of Mario.
Dive! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on,
when he yells, he kind of goes like this a little bit. So that's good. Sorry, that was annoying to you guys. But when he goes normal, he kind of starts sounding like just a normal person. So that's, I kind of don't like too much. The Mario fan in me, like, I like the universe of Mario so much that I personally would have loved Mario to be voiced by Charles Martinet. Like, I would have been like, oh, what is this place? Like, I wouldn't mind that depending on the tone of the movie, and they could probably make it work. I also don't mind them going through the path of they don't want Toad to always sound like this because this would be really annoying. So instead, they just have like a middle ground a little bit when he yells. But when he doesn't, he sounds more like just a person. So personally, I wish he sounded more like actual Toad, but I can forgive that. I can tell people would be more likely to be annoyed if they hear it all the time. I also like what he's wearing. It reminds me of Captain Toad. This might be Captain Toad.
Kingdom, here we come.
Missed opportunity. He could have said, here we go. I know that sounds so minor, but like little subtle Easter eggs to that would have been cool. I don't know, it's kind of like, have you ever heard a song and like they play like a series of notes, but then they don't play the note that you think they would, and you're like, oh, why didn't they play that note? And here I'm like, why didn't they make him say, here we go? I mean, maybe he says it many times later in the film, but at least here it would have been nice. Because in trailers, sometimes they replace the voice line. So he could have said, here we go here, but in the actual film, he doesn't. I do like that there's Peach's castle right there. Are they actually going to call her Toadstool or Peach? But as you can see right here, like the actual kingdom, it actually kind of fits a vibe. It looks a little bit like Lord of the Rings. And that was it. It sounds okay. Oh, Luigi. So it's kind of hard to tell because I heard a lot of people saying that Charlie Day sounds perfect for Luigi, but like from that, I can't tell. But so far, it kind of sounded like a generic, I'm getting chased, I gotta make some screams, just with his voice. That little snippet of Luigi, fine, that was good enough. But I can't tell you if it's gonna be great or if it's gonna be bad from just that. I'm a little bit disappointed they didn't show Seth Rogen, only because I'm scared that Donkey Kong is gonna just be like a bumbling idiot that kind of serves nothing other than comedic relief. Characters like that could be fine, but you're trying to do this to Donkey Kong, so please maybe don't do that. Maybe save that for somebody else. Even Luigi would probably be a better fit, or Toad, or maybe, I don't know, maybe they befriend a Koopaling or a Goomba. Paper Mario vibes, you know? And yeah, right here we see a bunch of dry bones. And they look like they're meant to be menacing, which pretty good. Other than that, it looks like a perfectly decent trailer. Like, it actually, if I were to give my optimistic opinion, this is going to be a great movie. A realistic opinion, it'll probably be fine. I definitely will watch it, and I hope I don't hate it. My pessimistic approach is this idea. Think about it. How many times have you seen movie trailers, and then you would think to yourself, this is such a good movie, and then you go watch the movie and you're like, this feels nothing like how the trailer went. Or there's also the idea of, bro, this movie feels rushed, you know? So the trailer, great trailer. When it actually comes out, it could be great. I don't know, because I don't live in the future.
What do you think will happen during Mario's adventure in the Mushroom Kingdom?
I don't know. That's it for this video. In the future, I'm probably going to do some more coverage of the movie as we march towards April 7th. Like if they release a secondary trailer, like maybe more screenshots or more promotional art that's like very notable. And when the movie comes out, I will probably sit down and talk to you guys, whether I liked it, whether I didn't. A no spoil review for the beginning. And then after that, I'll go into a spoiler territory, of course, with a warning. So if you're interested in seeing more stuff like that, or if you guys are actually interested in seeing me, a Mario fan, play Sonic the Hedgehog games, or you just want to see other stuff that I do and see what you're interested in, feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you guys can actually see when the next time I upload a video that you guys will care about. Other than that, that's about it. Take care, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.